Hey everybody, what's happening? My name is Steven.
I'm Spencer.
We work with Nexus Youth and Family Services here in Amador County. We want to bring you a presentation today regarding coping with anxiety. Some of you know what this means, and we all experience anxiety at different levels at different times. But I would say through this pandemic and through this new distance learning, anxiety is not just for you, but it's also for your teachers as well.
Definitely.
So what we want to do is we want to cover this coping with anxiety topic in just a few minutes and give you some key and useful information to continue on and make sure you're being successful with dealing with anxiety.
So let's start off by defining what anxiety is. Anxiety is a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease that typically about an imminent event or something with an uncertain outcome. So I'm sure you guys have been feeling this, like Steven said, throughout this pandemic and throughout this restart to the school year, where trying to learn the new distance learning program, trying to get used to learning from home rather than in a classroom. So that can create a lot of anxiety, I'm sure, for you guys, and like Steven said, for your teachers as well, because this is new for everybody.
Absolutely. So what we want to do is we want to talk a little bit about the physical effects of anxiety and how that kind of produces changes in your body as an increase in heart rate, sweating, tightening of muscles, twitching, tremors, and even this list here. Rapid heart rate, shaky voice, muscle tension, sweaty hands, the butterflies in your stomach, or dry mouth. It could be difficulty holding your hands steady, and obviously difficulty concentrating as well. These are very important signs when it comes to physical effects of anxiety. The problem is, most of these things can't be seen by the naked eye. If Spencer is feeling anxiety, and he's experiencing some of those physical elements, I cannot tell that just by looking at him. However, I know what it feels like. I know what the shaky voice feels like. I know what the butterflies in my stomach feels like. And it's important that we understand that there's positive anxiety or stress, especially like for Spencer and I, like when we played football.
Yeah.
Or basketball for you, right? Like there's that butterflies in your stomach, and that's natural and that's good. Kind of means like it's important. So what we want you to realize is that these are real symptoms. And before we go any further, first and foremost, we want you to know that each one of us experiences some level of anxiety or stress throughout our lives. That's normal. However, these things can't be seen. And that's important because I never want to say, Spencer, what you're experiencing is the same as how I feel, or I feel the same way as you do. Because if we do that, then we're discrediting how that person feels, and we might diminish the value of what that person's experiencing. And we never want to do that because we don't know really how it's making them feel. So these are some of the physical effects that anxiety can have on each of us.
So next we're going to look at some things. This is where in the classroom where we'd ask the students, hey, what are some things that give you anxiety? And this is also where what Steven was just talking about comes into play as well. When somebody tells you, hey, public speaking gives me anxiety, but you don't feel that at all, you don't think that that doesn't give you anxiety, it's important to not downgrade that person and be like, you know what, that's a stupid thing to feel. Public speaking is easy. Because for some people, it's not easy. I'll tell you, for me personally, when I was growing up, I hated public speaking. It was very difficult for me to get in front of people and talk. I've gotten used to it now because it's part of my job, but it was very difficult for me. So it's important to not downgrade what gives somebody anxiety as well as how they're feeling about it.
Absolutely.
Some other things, these are just answers that we get typically from students when we ask these questions. So we have public speaking up there. Large groups can give people anxiety, being around a lot of people, especially a lot of people you don't know. Needles is a big one, getting shots, things like that. Relationships can give people anxiety, whether it's romantic or friendships. Both those can cause anxiety. Your schoolwork, I'm sure right now you're experiencing that anxiety, trying to figure out how to navigate through this whole new system of schoolwork, how to get through, your Google Classrooms and your Zoom meetings and all that kind of stuff. Family health, if you have a loved one who's sick or maybe yourself who is sick, that can cause a lot of anxiety in your life as well. Making an athletic team, or trying out for band, trying out for the drama club, whatever it may be. Some people have a fear of heights. I know I do, for sure. Your living situation can cause anxiety. Problems at home. Maybe you don't want to be at home as much. That can cause a lot of anxiety.
Yeah. Real quick on the living situations, it could be going from your one parent's house to another parent's house. It could be where you're staying and transporting your things. Whatever it might be, it could be those living situations cause a lot of people anxiety. So we never want to assume somebody should feel a certain way.
Definitely. We have here breakups too. And again, that could be a romantic breakup or a breakup of friendship. Sometimes a friend, you and your friend stop being friends, and that can cause a lot of anxiety. Taking a test, obviously, is very stressful. And for some people, meeting new people can be very stressful. So if you're like the new kid at school, or you're just not great at meeting new people, that can be a stressful time in your life as well.
Absolutely. So when it comes to the things that give us anxiety, we have a couple questions we would ask. How do we deal with this anxiety? And how do I personally deal with it is differently than how Spencer would deal with it, how you might deal with it. And that's okay. What we want you to understand is dealing with anxiety is specific to each person. There's not a cookie cutter mold on how you deal with it. And that's okay, but what we want you to do is make healthy decisions when it comes to dealing with your anxiety. How do you handle anxiety in a healthy way? Are you working out? Are you writing? Are you listening to music? Are you taking a nap? What are some of those healthy ways that people take their anxiety to a different level, to where they're able to kind of calm it down a little bit, where it's not as stressful for them? And so it could be one of those things I just mentioned, taking a nap or reading or writing or working out, whatever it might be. Those are healthy ways. And then we see what are some unhealthy ways people handle anxiety. This list, either list could be pretty lengthy. So quick one would be alcohol, drugs, tobacco, anything like that is not healthy, not just for your body, but in some of our other presentations we've talked about how alcohol can be a depressant and how that actually brings you down. It makes you feel good maybe in that moment, but not for the rest of the duration of what you're going through. And so those are long term, and those could potentially be unhealthy ways to become more permanent in your life because of the addiction. And so when it comes to this dealing with anxiety, how you deal with it is super important. How do you handle it in healthy ways? The healthy ways that you do deal with the anxiety is really, really important. We want you to make healthy, good decisions when it comes to this anxiety. And the unhealthy ways, we obviously don't want you to make any unhealthy decisions, but we do understand that some people do. And we would encourage you, if you have made some unhealthy decisions when it comes to handling that anxiety, reach out to somebody, have some accountability, have them help you kind of get back on the right track to being able to handle it a little bit more healthy as you deal with whatever's going on in your life.
So what we want you guys to do is start thinking about those healthy ways that you can deal with your anxiety. What's something that helps you? What would be something that helps you? What we're going to do here is give you just a couple ways that are universally known to calm a person down. The first one is called deep breathing technique. Typically you want to do this with the lights off so that there's no kind of outside stimulation from light or anything like that. And what you want to do is you breathe deeply in for 4 seconds, you hold it for 4 seconds, and then you breathe slowly out for 4 seconds. And you want to repeat that at least 4 times, more if you need to. And what this actually does is it decreases your heart rate. When you get stressed out, when you have a lot of anxiety, your heart rate tends to start beating a lot faster. So this will decrease your heart rate, and in turn, as your heart rate decreases, you'll start to slowly feel yourself calm down, your body will relax.
I think what's cool about this, Spence, is you can do this pretty much anywhere.
Anywhere. And you can do this in the classroom, you can do this at home. And the cool thing is, like Steven said, you can do it anywhere and nobody will know you're doing it. It'll just look like you're breathing. Yeah. So, nobody needs to know that you're feeling stressed out or that you're trying to calm yourself down. Yeah. The next thing we want to talk about is progressive muscle relaxation. So this can be done also anywhere with certain parts of your body. You can't do your entire body when you're sitting in a classroom, but you can do most of your big muscle groups. So you can sit quietly in your chair with your back straight and your feet on the floor. That way, you're kind of straight up and down. And close your eyes and imagine yourself in a comfortable place. So whatever your comfort zone might be, whether, if you're a person who likes to go to the beach, imagine yourself by the beach listening to the waves, smelling the ocean. If you're a person who likes to be out in the woods, imagine yourself out there, smelling all the trees, the dirt, the grass, whatever. Just find yourself in your comfortable place. And then you want to slowly relax all your muscles, beginning with your toes. So what you can do there is you start by flexing your toes or pushing your toes out and holding it for count 3 or 4 seconds and then letting it go. And you repeat that with every big muscle group in your body by flexing them or kind of tightening them all up and then loosening them. And as you do that, it'll help your entire body relax, and as your body relaxes, your mind will relax as well.
I think it was Bruce Lee that would actually do that pretty consistently when it came to relaxing. And whether it's breathing or the muscle relaxation, Sometimes for you it might be doing it before you go to bed. And that's really important after you've had maybe a stressful day or an anxious moment or whatever it might be.
And that's something I use, guys. I do that quite frequently because I have trouble sleeping. So I will use the progressive muscle relaxation as a way to calm my body before I try to go to sleep.
And that's super important because what you do is beneficial for you, and what I need to do is beneficial for me. And they're both healthy ways, and we each use something that's different. So that's what we want to encourage you with, is that you would use or find some healthy mechanisms to cope with this anxiety. Maybe it's reaching out to a friend or a mentor that can help you get on track. It could be calling us here at the office, and talking to us, or seeing how we can help you, whatever it might be. And again, as Spencer and I mentioned earlier, this time right now is unparalleled when it comes to anxiety for students. When it's Google Classroom and turning projects in and assignments and logging into your videos. Remember too, it's also the same thing for your teachers. So they might have some different anxiety or stresses in their life. So give them a little bit of grace, be a little bit kinder to them, and just realize that we're here for you. Our telephone number is 209-257-1980 if you need to call us and talk to us. Listen to our extension, and we'd love to chat with you.
Definitely. And as always, guys, stay healthy and stay safe.